So this one's going to be called Beyond the Five Love Languages. There's a very famous book. It's a really helpful book called The Five Love Languages, and most of us know something about that book. So it says that we have different love languages. So for example, some of us know that we're loved when we're given gifts. Some of us know we're loved when someone gives us service. Some of us know that we're loved when someone gives us special attention. So I would like to invite us into something that is perhaps even beyond the five love languages. And in order to do that, first we're going to start with the deepest ways we know about loving. And what I'm going to suggest is there are three deepest drives, and each of us loves from those drives. So let's talk about what those drives are. The first one is called the drive for self-preservation. The second one is the drive for communion or belonging. And the third one is the drive for connecting. And each of them is intimate, and each of us stacks those three drives. And then we typically love and receive love or experience that we are loved by our deepest drives. So let's look at what those drives are. If you're a self-preserving type, primarily, the first way you show love is through self-preserving things. So if I say I love you, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to give you a home. I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of in terms of I'll be thinking about you have enough clothes to wear, or do you have the right clothes to wear? Or if you're going out in the rain, I'll make sure you have an umbrella. And this is my way of saying I love you. So that's the first drive we call self-preserving. And of course, our ancestors, in order to survive, we all needed to preserve ourselves, because if we didn't have enough food and shelter, we wouldn't survive. So what we're going to find is these three ways of loving are actually, for our ancestors, the three ways we survived. So what's the second way we love? We're going to call this the social drive. And the social drive is about the need to participate and belong. So, and of course, if we don't, in our ancestry, if we're not part of a clan, we won't survive. We all need each other. We need community. So if this is your predominant drive, the way you're going to say I love you is you're going to invite me into your group of friends. You'll take me to a party and you will, of course, say, I love you. I'm inviting you into my group where I belong. And your ways of loving will be to do this. It's like inviting people into a party and say, I love you because I've incorporated you into my place where I participate and I belong. And it's very intimate. And without it, our ancestors would die. Then there's a third way of loving. And the third way of loving is about connection. So the way I would say I love you is I would gaze into your eyes and sort of our eyes would meet. It's what we think of when we think of romance, except only 1/3 of the world really thinks this is ultimately romantic. Ultimately. Because if you're what's called in my world a connecting type, or what's called in my Enneagram world a sexual subtype, the way you say I love you is to say, I want to have this deep, deep, deep connection with you. So how you could know which one of these you are is both, we could think about it if you go to a picnic, if you take that silly example, where would your attention go if all things are equal? Because some of us, when we go to the picnic, we make sure we bring all the food, and we make sure we have brought all the weather gear, and we make sure that all of the setup is correct, and we're the ones who make sure that everything is organized, all of those kinds of things, right? Or you're the one, if you're at that picnic, you're going to be the one who sets up the group activity, or you're going to make sure you participate in the group activity. So you'll be playing in the softball game or whatever, the hide and go seek or the tag or whatever the collective activity is. Or you're going to be the one who says, all things being equal, I want to find the most interesting person and go and sit under a tree and have a deep conversation. Now, all of those ways are ways of being intimate. What we don't realize is the two ways that are not our primary way we don't experience as being very intimate, and it can lead to great, great misunderstanding. And in our next video, we're going to talk about the nature of those misunderstandings and then what we can do about it.